This is a lesson in democracy, and it really comes down to this simple word. We, as in united, we stand. Or, the bottom one, which is just turn the W upside down and we get me, as in nothing matters but me, as is the constant of this USA, where greed really does rule, and the universities are God, and things like that. So we have to have a new kind of thought, a new kind of democracy, back to the way it should have been, or it was intended to be. This is the preamble to the U.S. Constitution, and it is our contract with each other. And I'm going to read it to you. It says, "We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, which is our children, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America." So that's the contract. That is, we the people provided for ourselves. That's what the government, the employees, which we pay to do a job for us, are supposed to do and enforce. This is the oath of office that the president has to take in order to get his power of authority. He has no authority beyond this oath of office. This is his job. And his job is, "I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of this United States." So the Constitution, the contract that we have, is very clear, but the people who we have employed don't like it. As is constant with all power and pride throughout all of history. They want the power and they want the pride to do whatever they want, and that's all they want. But this is an important little section. This is Article 3, Section 1, I believe it is. And it says, "This is the judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court, and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. The judges, both of the Supreme and Inferior Court, shall hold their office during good behavior only," I put in the only, "and shall receive stated time to receive it for their service of compensation." Anyway, what becomes more interesting is Section 2. Section 2 says, "The judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution." In other words, they have absolutely no power on the Constitution itself. They cannot declare that abortion is or is not a law in this nation. They cannot do it. It's not their job. It's not their authority. The Constitution does not give them a right to do such a thing. It is for us to decide. And that's all. Now, let's see. What we have is a reality of media that has taken over the brains of this nation. And the media does not own their own brain. The universities tell them what they think. The universities control all of media because they are the expert. And you can ask any court in the land, you do not allowed to challenge or question the university. They are the expert. They are God. That's all there is to it. So that is a problem. So we have what really shows the media. You just went through an election and hired the wrong guy, which is just a march toward Nazi Germany, only in America. But nonetheless, this is the media never bothered to tell you this, that your vote for a president was absolutely a pacifier and did nothing else, because it is, according to Amendment 12, only the Electoral College that elects the president and vice president. They are not elected by you. They're elected by the Electoral College, which is a couple hundred members or something, I don't remember what. But they can be bought. And I suspect that Trump, during the last election, bought the electoral vote for himself. I don't know that. That's just a theory. But it certainly is a probability. And it might be that he bought this one. Because, you know, after all, he suggests that elections can be bought. Why would he do that? So, the end result is we can understand that democracy is about we the people, not me or you. We the people. And I say it's the march to Nazi Germany in this USA because the single fact is that during World War I, that tragedy of leadership, which is, you know, how nations get to war, leaders bring them to war, and the end result is that one side wants to take from the other side whatever they can get. And so Germany, after World War I, was left in ruins and poverty, and you made all their children pay. And as we all know, why should I pay for something that was done, you know, without my consent? So the end result is that the Jews, having lost their war and got thrown out of their own nation, ended up in Germany because it was cheap and because they got to be the bankers, and that was a religious thing. But nonetheless, they got to be the banker, and that meant that they got to foreclose and sell the property to whoever they wanted to. And the Holocaust, while it was a terrible, terrible thing, really represents, you know, 6 million Jews died in that, which was a tragedy, because we are all the same humans. Nonetheless, groups are groups are groups. And the end result is that those who were, you know, German and built the country said of themselves, and Hitler promised to themselves, that we're going to get rid of these immigrants, which is, of course, exactly what Trump does. We're going to get rid of these immigrants, and the end result of that is, of course, war. Because the reality is you're going to try to move 11 million Latin-speaking people, or Spanish, whatever you want to call them, is out. Means that some of them have weapons, and you're going to end up with armies being moved to move them out. And the final result, of course, was always the same, as is genocide. So, you know, we're just on a march to tragedy, and unless we take matters into our own hands and resolve the issues that we all face, we're not going to have a future. It's already badly diminished. All the poisons that you dump, and all the pollution that you throw, and all the garbage that you throw away. You have enough garbage mountains across the world to actually, well, fill the needs of 1 billion people for their lifetime. You threw that much away. And they all say, well, just go get more. But you will not go get more, because this is a finite earth. It is finite. There is no more. This is it. And of course, you know, people say that there is no global warming, but 8.2 billion people is a line that goes to the moon 21 times. If every single one of you or me holds a candle, how much heat is that? This is a changed world, because we are so many people. We changed it. And this is a changed world. Because for the first time in history, the universities have enough power and enough pride and enough weapons to completely exterminate us. You can see that in weapons of mass destruction. You can see that everywhere. Poisons being dumped everywhere. There is no future unless we make a future for ourselves. And that begins with making our own law, as is redress of grievances. That is a constitutional law. That is the First Amendment, U.S. constitutional legal right of authority to demand a courtroom for ourselves to investigate the evidence and decide what direction we want our nation to go. That's the truth of it. We get to decide by redress. That's the legal method of civil war. Not a war like all men do, or most men do, which isn't trying to take something from somebody else. This is a legal war. The right to make the decision as a society about what we will or will not allow. It's a very important fact of life. If we do not make our own decision, then we have to accept what other people do. And we can't do that anymore. We have to accept the fact that 1% of 82 billion or 8.2 billion people is 82 million more every year. In this nation alone, is supposedly 340 million people now. That's at 1%. That's the entire population of the earth, or this America added to the earth every 4 years or a little more. Just look around you. That many more people come onto this planet over deaths every year. 82 million, that's 1%. One more birth per 100 people over deaths. Think about it. And think about how much heat they represent, how much water they need, how much everything they want. And you understand that the future ain't no rosy place. We have to make decisions based on facts, not your beliefs, because beliefs are a terrible thing. Not religious beliefs, which are literally, you know, what happens when you die or how did we start life, but beliefs as in, I want what I want, that's all that I want, and I don't want nothing else, and it's just only about me. That's a belief, and the world is filled with them, and they literally destroy us. You have to make better decisions and accept reality.